All right, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another recreational programming session with Mr. Azudin. We're gonna resume our work on this 3D software rendered game. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that. So if you want to know what this game is all about, like check out the playlist in the description, right? So it's a long running series that I'm sort of like developing, I think, in the background, right? So, and if you are into this kind of stuff, well, you can just binge watch that playlist. But in any case, what we're doing, we're just developing a 3D game, but it's completely software rendered, right? So essentially, we are allocating in the memory an array of bytes, and each frame we're just filling up this array of bytes, and through some sort of a library, as of right now it's SDL, we're just displaying that array of bytes, and it looks like a game, but no graphics API is involved in here. We're not using OpenGL, we're not using what is it, Vulkan, Metal, Web GPU, or whatever the fuck companies come up these days to sort of like there's some sort of like a weird power struggle in APIs, right? So all of the companies, they're just trying to come up with their own API that vendor lock you and stuff like that. So, and if you're trying to use GPU, you get caught up in this API war. I think API war is a very good name for this kind of stuff, right? So when there's some important technology gets involved, all of the companies start to sort of like delimit their territory, right? So they're delimiting their territory, right? So and you get caught up in these API wars. Right. But anyway, so by doing that like this, we kind of avoid these API wars at the cost of performance, right? But hey, this is a recreational programming. We're doing that for fun anyway. For fun and education. So recently on this machine, I kind of encountered a really weird problem. Is that I can't compile my game anymore because it cannot find std-def. The most fundamental header in C, Clang cannot find it. It's like, I have no idea what the fuck has happened in here. It worked yesterday, so on one of the sessions that I probably not gonna publish on YouTube, I was messing with MSVC. I was trying to install MSVC on Linux, and maybe that fucked it up. But one thing is that GCC works. Right, I can compile things with GCC. So we can try to compile it, and I'm using Clang throughout the project. So one thing I probably have to do to sort of like fix that is to replace Clang with GCC, right? So this is going to be Clang, this is going to be GCC. So there's some flags that are not available on GCC, but they're not enabled by default, right? So as you can see here, if a specific flag is enabled, only then this Clang related thing is appended. And by the way, we're using Knob to build our project, right? So we're not using CMake or Make or anything like that. So it is built entirely with C, right? If you never heard about Knob, you probably never watched my channel, right? So this is kind of like one of the things I'm known for developing this entire stuff, right? And it's kind of cool actually. So it's getting somewhere. It's getting more and more powerful. So we still don't really know what to do with Unicode on Windows. Unicode on Windows is kind of an unsolved problem in 2026, right? So it's kind of funny. It's just like Microsoft is shoving AI everywhere, right? So 30% of their code is written by AI, but the Unicode is still unsolved problem in on Windows, right? Somehow. So. Anyways, let's try to recompile the whole thing, and it's still trying to use Clang, I suppose, right? So it was kind of weird. If I try to just rebuild the whole thing, nope, C. So the go rebuild yourself mechanism is supposed to use GCC, right? So, and if I try to run the game, okay, so there's a couple of warnings in here. But I suppose overall it compiles, right? So it compiles, but you see, I lost my ability to compile my game using Clang on this specific account for some reason. All of a sudden, software. Anyway, let's fucking go. So let's actually start the game and see what it looks like. So this is how the game looks like, and yeah, so this is just like a 3D game, and it's completely software rendered. So we're still using SDL, but we're only using SDL texture, right? So as already said, we're generating an array of bytes, and we're creating SDL texture out of that array of bytes, and we're sort of like quickly bleeding it on the window, right? So yeah, it's not really talks. This is specifically a penguin, so it's a different kind of penguin. So I wonder if I can, yeah, so here it is, penguin obj. So the obj file of that specific model is actually publicly available, so you can actually find it in here. So there's a lot of different models in here. So my monitor has died. So I think there was also cyber penguin. Yeah. So something is broken in here. I can't click on those things anymore. Ah, this is because I need to capture this stuff. Okay, so here is cyber penguin, right? So, and I can place that penguin in here, right? So this is how it looks like. Yeah. So that's the thing we're developing. This thing, by the way, is developed completely from scratch, and it's software rendered. Just FYI. Just FYI, we're not using Raylib or anything like that, right? So this is the kind of shit we're doing in here. Anyway, so what I want you to do, I want you to explain what we're going to be doing today, right? So we're going to be developing a debug console. So essentially, I have a concept of game flags, right? I have a concept of game flags, and if I press F1, so these are all of the game flags I have. So essentially I can, for example, enable or disable fog, right? So that's one thing I can have. Like I can have a fly mode, so I can fly around, I can disable it. And so this is just basically a built-in mechanism within the game. And yeah, so the amount of flags is going to grow exponentially, as the AI people like to say. So the amount of flags is going to grow exponentially, and I need a way to kind of like manage it in a more, I don't know how to say, in a better way, right? I need to manage it in a better way. And I'm also, on top of flags, I have a bunch of other shortcuts and key combinations that are kind of outside of the mechanism of game flags. I want to unify that under a single mechanism, under a single some sort of a mechanism. And I feel like having like a debug console with commands is a good way to unify all of these weird different hacks that I put around the code base, right? So essentially like a Quake style, I press tilde and the console just basically shows up, and in there I can put different commands, and maybe all of these flags will become commands. Maybe at some point I will come up with a mechanism to bind certain command to a certain shortcut and stuff like that. So I need something like that. As of right now, I already have, I think, log. Right, so for example, if I don't know, like save the current level to a file, it logs things. So that's what I've got so far. Maybe I'm going to take the log thingy and turn it into the console. So one thing I'll have to do, I'll have to put some sort of a background behind this log, and also implement some sort of an input field, right? So but the capacity of the window has to be limited, because as of right now, if I essentially do many of these logs, they effectively go outside of the window, right? So they don't even scroll or anything like that. So this is another thing that I'll need to implement at some point. The encoding is probably horrendous right now. I really apologize for that, but it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So, and look at the amount of FPS, by the way, it's 100. And if I disable this entire thing, it goes up to 200s. So it's kind of funny. So there's a lot of processing spent on just rendering these characters, and this is because I didn't really optimize that. Encoding is good. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling me about that. Yeah. Does it support a shader language? Oh, you write shaders in C. So yeah, so to give you an idea how you do this kind of graphics, right? So effectively what I'm doing, right? So imagine that I have an entry point and stuff like that. And somewhere globally, I have an array of uint32s, which is called display. And it has a certain width and a certain height, like this. So my entire rendering process literally populates that array with pixels, right? And then I just display that array on the screen. That is it. This is what software rendering means. We're not using OpenGL or Vulkan or anything like that. Shader is a concept of this graphics API. We're not using graphics API. If you want to do something that it could be recognized as a shader, you just place pixels in this array. Are you considering using parallelism to avoid frame drops? I already use parallelism. The renderer is parallelized. Why do you think it's so fast? Why do you think I can do that in 200 FPS? Sweet, sweet summer children. Sweet summer children. What kind of questions are you guys asking? Of course it is parallelized. It is parallelized. So as far as I know, like I don't remember. Render chunking. So strip status, it's actually F4, right? So this is essentially how it works. I don't know if this is an optimal way to do that. This is just something that I came up with on the stream as a quick sort of hack. So essentially, as of right now, on this machine, I have 16 CPUs, 16 cores, right? So it also involves hyper-threading and stuff like that. What I'm doing, I'm splitting the screen into 16 strips, right? I'm splitting the screen into 16 strips. So I have a certain workload, right? So because I'm rendering by chunks. So I'm placing different chunks to different buckets for each individual core, right? So I'm placing it in different buckets. And then I have a pool of 16 threads and there is a barrier. So I then unlock the barrier. They go through all of the buckets simultaneously, right? So rendering everything into the same display and then lock the barrier again. So that's how it works. So that's how we do that. And by the way, so for example, I have different kinds of chunks that I can render. So there's colored chunks and there's textured chunks. And the reason why I have that is because we don't have shaders, right? So yeah, it's kind of interesting. If you want to draw a solid color, you use chunk of one kind. If you want to draw a textured, you use a chunk of different kinds, right? So sort of like has pre-baked shaders in that sense. But anyway, you can always change them in that sense. It's like, you know, customizable shaders. So all of the objects in here, like Panger, like Pine and Bench, they're using the textured chunks. And so here, what we see actually is the count, the amount of different chunks per strip, right? And again, strip go from top to bottom, right? So somewhere here you have the strip 0, then somewhere here is strip 2, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, so I forgot how to, I think it's F3, yeah. So the thing is, as I move camera around, you can see that the counter of the texture chunks is also moving up and down, and it corresponds to the location of these 3 objects that are bouncing around on a screen. So as you can see, they are currently at the top of the screen and the counters are at the top. If I actually move my camera so they're at the bottom, the counters go down. So it's actually kind of demonstrates you how it splits the workload between the threads. So this is what we're doing right now. And again, I'm not sure if that's the optimal way to do that because I'm not a high performance game developer, game engine and stuff like that. But this is one way I came up with and it kind of speeds the whole thing up, right? So it works faster than if I just don't do this kind of stuff. Very cool. Thank you. It's kind of neat, right? So it's kind of neat. So maybe this approach is going to scale for some time. Right, I don't know when I'm gonna hit the ceiling with this approach, but it works for now. It works for now. But anyway, so yeah. This looks like a simple and sane solution. Yeah, that's true. And splitting it into strips is actually very beneficial because the rows of the strip are continuous, right? So they are continuous. So you're not jumping between the memory too much when you're rendering your chunks and stuff. Does this build on Windows? I don't know, I haven't tried it, but theoretically it should. I don't think I use that much of a POSIX specific things. So anyways, so what we need to do in here, one thing I want to do, I want to change the key binding for the display log, right? So I actually want to use Backtick. So this is going to be Backtick. Display logs, maybe show debug console, right? So this is what we're going to have. So essentially here is an array of game flags that I have on here. And here is the counter of the game flags. And there is an enumeration for each individual game flag. And the idea in here is that if I add another flag in here, so the code is going to break, the compilation is going to break in all of the relevant places. I can go through all of these places and sort of like change things. So here, let's call it maybe a console, right? So this is going to be console, show debug console. All right, so let's go to the compilation errors and see what's going to happen. So I need to probably also go through all of the warnings in here because they are a little bit annoying. Right, so format 0 length. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just like literally disable this specific warning because that's just easier to do, right, than just trying to, you know, do something about it, because it's not that bad. Like having like a 0 length format string, is it really a crime? Why is that a warning? What's so bad about it? I don't fucking get it. What's so bad about it, chat? For real, SMH my age. Oh, by the way, I think, yeah, so we use sanitize memory for GCC, which is kind of annoying, right? So, which is kind of good, right? So, because it may catch some memory bugs and stuff like that, but I can't compile with Clank anymore for some reason. So, we'll have to live with that now. Have to live with that. Node.c, and I'm gonna just rebuild this one more time. So, this one's gonna be console. Hola. And what else do we have in here? So dereferencing a point upon will break strict aliasing rules. Of course, that's kind of the whole point. Who came up with these warnings? Type punt pointer will break strict aliasing rules. Are you sure about that? Strict aliasing rules. But maybe I'm fine with that. I'm not sure what I want to do about it. So aliasing, do they detect some sort of an aliasing problem in here, or they just generally forbid punning because boohoo, you be bad, or like, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad in this specific case. I actually don't think so. So maybe fuck that. Right, if it would be kind of nice if they actually detected some sort of a problem, but if they just go and boo-hoo you be, I'm not kind of interested in that specifically. So I suppose I'm gonna disable that for now as well. All right, so I'm freaking out. It's like Rust complaining at valid code. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the most annoying part of Rust is just it likes to complain about a valid code. Because boo-hoo, bad things. Now we're talking, right? So apparently, yeah, I forgot to put return in here. And Clank wasn't complaining about that. Wait a second. Clank was never complaining that I forgot to put return in here. Though, even though it's not really that important, right? So this is a render thread, which is used for pthread, right? So when you do pthread create, pthread create, you accept start routine. So this is the thread routine. By the way, this is the thread routine that is doing what I was describing in multi-threading. So it's in an infinite loop, right? The whole thread, the whole routine is an infinite loop, and it locks on this barrier inside of the renderer. As soon as this thing is unlocked, it goes through the color chunk, does all of this mathematical magic with the color chunk, and then does the same thing with texture chunk. And so then it applies the fog, by the way. So there's a special process to apply the fog. It's even behind the flag and stuff like that. So then if you enabled showing it, so this is debug information, right? So it's also displayed in the renderer. And then it locks on the barrier again, right? So it's basically to synchronize all of the threads in here. So I reckon you can go into 4 digits FPS if you add CMD exactly on top of threading. I suspect as of right now, the code is already auto-vectorized, But as we know, compilers quite often not do auto-vectorization in the most optimal way. It would be actually better to try to hand code CMD stuff. Right, so but I haven't gone into that area yet, right? So again, there's a lot of room for improving the performance, right? And performance right now is acceptable. So there's no really reason for me to go into that yet. CMD's nuts, exactly, Schmirtman. CMD's nuts, I do agree with that statement. I profile to see which is the slowest part first before trying CMD. Well, I already know what is the slowest part. It's this one. So all of the profiling methods that I tried, they actually show me this place. It's just like, this is the hottest place in here. This is the hottest place. And that hottest place is literally doing the barycentric coordinate thing. So it's where you have a particular chunk, right? And you have the barycentric coordinates, and you're just iterating each individual pixel and checking whether that pixel is within the triangle or outside of the triangle. Then you do interpolation, barycentric interpolation, to figure out how to place a texture and stuff like that. This is like the hottest place, the hottest thing. And this is probably one of the candidates for doing CMD, right? I remember case you got like 5x the amount of FPS back in 2014 for doing a pretty straightforward, although quite tedious CMD transformation of his software renderer. Yeah, I can see that. This screams CMD. I know. But again, I intentionally don't do that because I want to leave that like a little bit of a room for optimization when I actually start needing it. So, anyways. So let me try to recompile all this stuff. So there's a bunch of warnings in here, which are quite annoying. So what you don't, calloc sizes specify size of in the earlier argument and not in the later. Oh shit, you're right. Oh wow. So in a calloc, first comes the count, the amount of element you're allocating, and only then the size. But since the amount of bytes is basically a product of these two values, it doesn't really matter in which order you're allocating that, except for semantic reasons. Damn, Clang doesn't catch so many warnings, it's insane. What, excuse me? And this is, I just switched to GCC and I actually found a bunch of problems. What the fuck? Excuse me? So, alright. Maybe I should actually compile my program with as many compilers as possible, right? So because one of the compilers give you some warnings, but don't give another, and vice versa. Right. This is a 5-head warning. This is actually cool. Like, what the fuck? So, and I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cause any problem, but it's a kind of a semantical bug, right? It's kind of a semantical bug that you kind of want to avoid, right? So let's actually, fix that. All right, so what else do we have in here? Comparison of unsigned X. Okay, this is understandable, right? So this is that. And here is the thing, like, I don't know if X is ever going to be, yeah, that's a little bit annoying, right? So that it warns me about this thing, but I'm not really sure how to suppress that because I don't want to suppress this specific warning. Because this is the macro. And since it's a macro, that means I can probably put a signed X and signed Y in here, right? So yeah, that's a bit weird, if you know what I mean. That's a bit weird. So I'm not sure. One thing we can do, we can maybe try to transform that into a function, right, that specifically enforces a particular type. Let's enforce, size t. Or do I want to have an integer? I'm not sure actually. If I take a look at some of the other, yeah. So let's try the integer and just see how it is going to sort of like, complain about this specific thing. So let's put it like that. So because of that, I actually don't have to wrap all of that stuff in parentheses. All right, so this is going to be something like that. This is going to be y. And let's try to recompile the whole thing. So it is complaining in here. Return value, this is supposed to be a boolean. Okay. All right, and it never complains. Right, it's just like it's totally fine. Okay, that's cool. So let's try to run it. And what I was doing, by the way, I think I wanted to change the thing to back quote, and back quote doesn't work. Okay, so how can we do that? So if I take a look at SDL2, so there's a things like scan codes. Can I now go into SDL2 and let's actually find all of the scan codes? All right, so are they defines? I suspect that, okay, so they are in fact kind of defines, but not really. All right, so maybe if I put something like that, that didn't work. Okay, so here they are. They are enumeration, right? They are enumeration. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of things in here. And in SDL2, yeah, so we are not actually detecting the ASCII range. We're specifically detecting the alpha range, right? Not even alphanumeric, just alpha range. So that means if we have a backtick, it's probably outside of that specific range. Backtick. So is there a backtick or that's bizarre. So there's no backtick in there. So SDL2 scan code backtick. Backtick. Butt tick. So back quote. Wait a second. So it's a back quote. There's no back quote. There's no back quote. Fucking clankers. This is the future, by the way. This is the future. Get used to it. Right? That's what they call progress, by the way. So backtick and all right. So scan is presented as back. Okay, wiki SDL back tick. Maybe okay. So maybe there's something like no. Is there something like grave? Oh, there is a back quote. Okay. Grave key. Wait. Do English speakers call backtick grave? What? Okay. It's a bit kind of weird, but okay. Anyways, so where is the scan codes? Grave. Yeah, it is grave. I get it at the top left corner. Yeah, so it produces grave accents. All right, grave accent. Is that a British thing? Wait a second. Grave accent. I swear to God, this is a symbol. Yeah. Okay. So in Western language as well as English, it's okay. So but backtick. Freestanding version commonly called backtick. Okay, whatever. So so this is gonna be scan code grave, and let me see. So I'm going to go maybe here. Because of that, I feel like in my game I need to introduce another key. So essentially, since I support several platforms, right? So I'm have like two libraries that I'm using, SDL2 as sort of like a control baseline, and X11 Pulse, right? So without any SDL or anything like that. And by the way, this thing I think uses X image, right? So this one is a true software rendered, right? But in any case, so I suppose Because I use several libraries, I have a translation between the library's key codes and my own key codes. Right, so I have a separate enumeration, something like that, because I want the game to be adaptable to any library. So I have a little bit of a sort of like a layer of translation of inputs from the library inputs to the game inputs and stuff like that. So I suppose the time has come to add a grave in here, right? And yeah, so let's actually go ahead and try to maybe compile the whole thing and see how it's gonna go. Yeah, so it uses warnings to tell me to update these switch cases, right? So that's the switch case, so this is grave. No, you know, maybe I'm gonna call it Backtick. I don't really like the name grave, Backtick. So, and in a game, KK, so this is a grave, Backtick. So I'm gonna call it my own way. Can I actually align this entire thing like so? Let's fucking go. And so this one, all right. So in here, one thing I can do. You know what? No. Oh, this is X11, by the way. I need to know how to do this kind of stuff for X11 as well. So let's do maybe XK grave. Oh, so it is called grave in X11 as well, but it's actually 60, so it's within the ASCII range. All right, if I take a look at the ASCII stuff, so in if I find, yeah, so in hexadecimal it is 60. So X11 uses ASCII code of this thing, but SDL uses apparently its own code, which is a 53. Or is it? Wait a second. No, yeah, so it uses its own code. Absolute disaster. Absolute freaking disaster. So, anyways, so that's the shit we have to deal with in 2026. Exactly, API wars. Right. So once you become aware of like this kind of API wars, you start to see them everywhere. It's just like people get caught up in API wars thinking that this is an actual software development. In reality, it's just wasting everybody's time in a pointless power struggle. That's what it is. And that's what all of these graphics APIs are, all of these operating system APIs are. They don't add any value to the software and any value to the computing. They're literally pointless power struggles. And they're literally wasting the time of humanity and compute of humanity, by the way. So anyways, so this is what we have, and in X11 pulse, right, so this has to be grave, but I call it Backtick, right? Even though two main graphics libraries that I use call it grave, I'm gonna go calling it Backtick because I want to, because this is what I've been calling it for the entire time. Right, so I'm sorry, English is not my main language. Sorry for my England. I don't speak England very well. So this is going to be Le Grave, and this one is going to be Le Backtick. Le Backtick. So this one is going to be something like a 10. All right. Okay, so doesn't really work, but this is because in the game, chocolat, we have to do, where is the console? So here it is, and a key, we have to say it's a Backtick. All right, so this is what we're gonna have. Let's actually see if it's going to work. It does work, look at that. So it does the thing. This is the strips. I need some sort of a key that maybe prints some sort of a message, right? So let me see. So flag console. So this is where we do different things. What is this function? So it's a game update. In a game update, so this is a function that is called each individual frame, and here we have a bunch of things, right? So for example, if you press F5, we reload the assets and we reload the level. If you press F6, we're saving it, and so on and so forth. We might as well maybe introduce something like if you press I don't know, key F7, right? So we're going to print something. Let's actually print something useful. All right, so test message. But to be fair, if we're gonna have the same message over and over again, so we won't be able to see if it is progressing, if it is scrolling or anything like that. So let's introduce some sort of a counter, right? So this is gonna be 0, and let's actually make it static so it's preserved. Right, and then we're gonna put ZU in here, and this is the counter that we're doing. All right, so if I try to do something like that, we don't have F7. God freaking damn it, Brovsky. God freaking damn it, so we have to do that again. So you see, I don't have support for that many keys in my, input layer. I only add a key when I actually need it, right? So that's how I usually work, right? But anyways. So let's go through all of these things. F7, so what you did, undeclared F7, are you for real, bro? No, you can't be real. Oh, because I forgot to actually add it in here. I should have added it in here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, now here is the translation, right? So this is the translation for F6, right? So this is F7. And this is going to be 11, so this is for X11, and then we need to do that for SDL. SDL, okay, so it's going to be F7, 10, 11, boom. So where is the F? Okay, so I can see it. So now, if I press, okay, so we're probably one thing we need to do in here, by the way, chat, counter 0. Increment it every time you're printing this message. Just simply increment it. Okay, so where is that? This is not what yeah, there we go. It's pretty convenient. It's pretty convenient. I'm not really sure if I want to indicate the info tag. If I'm going to be using that output as a debug console, usually you don't have this kind of stuff in here. So essentially, for different kinds of messages, we actually have different colors, right? So warning. Does it use CSS? Yes. Okay, so yeah, so this is warning, for instance. And for the error, right? For the error, I think it's going to be red. Yeah, so that's basically like depending on the kind of the log we receive, we're using different colors and different tags in here. And since we already have a color coding, you know, it creates this misalignment in here, which is kind of annoying. So maybe one thing I want to do is simply get rid of all of that stuff, right? So here is the level. We're logging this level. Might as well just maybe get rid of that and focus only on the color, right? So just focus only on this specific color that we're using in here. So align by the color and maybe also align by the break. So, and here is the unreachable, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so if I try to do that, so level, yeah, we don't print the level anymore. It even does 3D stuff by its own, no API or anything like that. Yeah. So it's not that hard actually. So the only reason why you need graphics API is because you just want to do what I'm doing faster and on a bigger resolution, because look at this resolution. So, but here's the thing, if you're aiming for some sort of like a retro look, this resolution is fine. This is actually resolution. This resolution is fine. I can go even lower. It's going to fuck up the font, but I can go even lower. So I'm having like a factor 60. So basically the ratio is 16:9. I multiply that by 60, which gives me that specific resolution. I can make it lower. I can make it 40. So the debug font, I think it doesn't scale according to the resolution, but I can do that. Right. So now I'm rendering at lower resolution, and look at the FPS. It's in almost 300. And the look didn't change that much. It became a little bit more grainy, but then you can claim that that's basically the style. So if at some point, like I'm gonna hit like a performance wall and I won't know what to do, parallelization, CMD, I can just lower resolution, right? So to this, and claim that this is a retro game. So what do you want? So it's specifically designed to mimic that retro look. So, and it will kind of work, right? Can you show 64 by 36 resolution? Well, I mean, it has to be. I can try like 1, so it's going to be 16 by 9 then. So, right, 64 by... So you mean 4, right, so 36 is going to be by 9. Yeah, so the factor is 4. You could have said factor 4. Why did you force me to do this stupid freaking mental exercise? Just say factor 4. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, let's go. I wonder if it's going to work. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we probably need to remove the FPS in that case. Just a second. So, chat, calm down. So FPS. So where is the FPS? I don't remember. So here's where we rendering the FPS for SDL. Let's disable FPS. Too retro. Yeah. So it's too retro. Yep. I don't know what's the FPS. It's kind of difficult to tell, but you can make out like what is going on the screen still. It's honestly kind of amazing, but you can still see what the fuck is going on. Then, by the way, you can scale it with AI. Is that what like a GPU, you know, manufacturers are doing this day, right? So they're just basically telling you, like, just render everything at like low resolution. Yeah, so they come up with this weird like acronyms, DLSS and stuff like that. So we can try to do something like that, by the way. To be fair, this is already something that we do. It's just we're scaling it with nearest neighbor. We already do DLSS, by the way. Right, so we're rendering at this very low resolution and it's scaled into the full resolution with nearest neighbor. What did you want? So, but anyways, so that's what we have in here. Kind of funny, I suppose. Kind of funny. So it was 16. Yeah, let's go back. DLSS at home, yeah. That's fine. So this resolution is more than just fine. So initialize the game. I can do some of these things and yeah. So what we need to do in here, chat. We need to put some sort of a background behind the console, right? So because as of right now, it's fully transparent. We need to make it look like it is some sort of a console. So you know what I'm saying? So console, hola. Where is this thing? Okay, so this is where we're rendering all of that scheiße. This is where we're rendering all of that scheiße, and essentially we have this sort of like a cursor, right, that we're updating by twice the font, right? So we're updating it by twice the font. And effectively what we can do, so this entire thing starts around here in overlay mechanism, overlay, so we have a fill rect. Rect. So this is going to be black, and we need to come up with le rectangle. So we need to grab that, allocate it on le stack, and pass it in here. So this is XY, right? So XY in this specific case is going to be what? It is going to be, in terms of X, it is probably, let's put 0 in here, and this is going to be Y. So I think X. Yeah, X as of right now is 2 font height, so that's what we use in here. So that's the X, and this is basically XY. ZW, it's a width and height. In terms of width, I'm not sure, we can say display width, and in terms of height, let's maybe set this thing just like 1, right? So, and let's see what is going to happen. Let us see what is going to, okay, so it's, as you can see, it just like shows one thing in here, right? So we probably need to establish some sort of a capacity. So we have a bunch of constants in here, so console capacity, and let's say it's going to be 10, and I can multiply that by console capacity. So this is a console capacity. There we go. Console 3D game. Yes, this is how it looks like. This is a 3D game. Yeah, okay. So we can try some interesting stuff. All right, so this is 7, actually 8, and yeah, so this is 8, 9, 10. This is exactly 10. Obviously, it can go further, right? So it can go outside, but we already have something that kind of resembles the, you know, the console, I think. Because of that, since it's like has a background, I don't think we have to use the outline. Outline consumes a lot of power, or like CPU processing, right? It's slow. That's what I'm trying to say. I was trying to say that it's slow. Anyway, so we can just use fill text. And in an overlay, if I fill text, it's just a color. Yeah. So in the outline, I have to specify a lot of other things. For example, thickness and outline color. I suppose I don't have to do that anymore. I can just do something like this, and it's going to be fine, chat. We didn't scroll. Well, we will need scroll at some point, that's for sure. So if I just do that, as you can see, there's no outline in here anymore. And because of that, it looks horrendous. But again, in here, it is not needed anyway. So the background acts as an outline, which is great. Which is great. How can we limit this entire stuff? We can do one thing, less than console capacity, right? So this is going to be less than console capacity. It's the easiest way to do that. The text says le game, exactly. It says le game au chocolat. Okay, so, and as you can see, it doesn't print anything any further. That is epic, my friend. That is epic. How can we even, I don't freaking know, like render this entire stuff? So I suppose we need to introduce some sort of a scroll, and scroll is basically going to be offset, right? So it's basically going to be offset from, you know, where you start, where you essentially start. And because of that, like, this is fine, right? This is fine. We also need to see how many things we have displayed in here. So this effectively becomes the cursor, right? So this is the cursor, like that. So let's go to the compilation errors and replace all of the eyes with the cursors. Okay, all of the eyes with the cursor. That was enough, actually, surprisingly. All right. And we also need to keep track of the capacity. So essentially, we're going to have something like I, and while I is less than console capacity, we're going to do that. So this ensures two things. First of all, cursor doesn't overflow, right? So through the log entries. And also, we don't display more log entries that we can, right? So we don't go out of the capacity. I think that's fine. We also need to increment plus I, so that's one thing we have to do in here. Might as well maybe do something like this. All right, so this is going to be 4 like that. So is that a good loop? Is that a good code? What do you guys think? Anyways. Cursor mentioned. Oh, yeah, here's the lesson in marketing. So the way current, you know, zero-sum game tech culture works is that I swear to God, if they use some sort of an analysis of the frequency of a certain words on social media, they look at the most frequent word and they name a product with that. Right. So if you look at the new product, tech product that come out, look at how they're named. They're named as the most frequent word that is used in day-to-day basis. And this is not accidental, actually. So, because they just want people unintentionally promote their product. Bootstrap framework. Yeah. So once you realize what the kind of stuff they're doing, you become like really aware. Wait. They're really naming everything as the most frequent words that we're using. They're like literally sort of like exploiting this social dynamics and stuff like that. It's kind of insane. Like Microsoft calling their editor code. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so it's kind of interesting. Word. The app, yeah. Imagine creating a text editor and calling it editor. That's why Bard failed. Exactly. That's why Bard failed. Because what the fuck is Bard? Yeah. That's exactly why it failed. It's so stupid, right? So, anyways, whatever. Now, okay, so let's actually see if this works. Let's actually see if this works. Okay. Okay, so that seems to be working, but we're not auto-scrolling, if you know what I mean, right? So we're not auto-scrolling. How can we auto-scroll the whole scheiße? How can we auto-scroll? We could maybe, yeah, it probably makes sense to auto-scroll on each knob log, right? So because what we're doing, we're grabbing the knob logs and we are effectively just appending them to a global array of entries, and then we're displaying all of these entries in here. So we have set log handler, and here is the game log handler, right? So this is the game log handler. And yeah, so we're just rendering the message and we are placing it into log entries. But here's the thing, we might maybe introduce the scroll in here. Maybe we can even put a scroll somewhere here. My keyboard died, chat. My keyboard died again. I don't know what to do now. Okay, so everything's fine. So can I put a scroll in here? So since I initialized everything with 0, so maybe that's going to be fine. By the way, console capacity. Maybe it makes sense for me to put that stuff in here. But to be fair, I already have a place where I keep all of these constants, so maybe I'm going to actually keep it in here. Yeah, so every time we print in the log, I think I need to just basically update the scroll. So, and let's just remove the scroll. Let's go to the compilation errors. So this is the log entries. Anything else? Yeah, that should be fine. Yes. Okay. It's also relatively robust. I really like that. I really like this fact that is relatively robust. Okay, so how we're going to do all of that stuff, chat? That's the real question. Log entries. If we take a look at the scroll, right, and scroll plus console capacity is less than how many of these things we have, we should probably set it so we can see everything. So effectively what we want to do is maybe subtract, set it to this minus capacity. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we can try to do. Is it going to be budgeting? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it's automatic and stuff like that. Absolute barabajuning. Yes, we can do some interesting tries, I think. So, for instance, we need to implement some sort of a scrolling, right? So, how we can do that? So for now, I'm going to put a temporary code, is key pressed. So key, I think is going to be just W. We're already taking W to control the character, but it's only in the main game mode. In the menu, it doesn't really matter. So we can take log entries and we can do something like scroll, essentially -1, but it only makes sense if the scroll is greater than 0, right? So otherwise it doesn't make much sense. So this is essentially what we can do. Mouse wheel, yeah, we need to forward mouse wheel from the library. I don't think I have it right now. So here's a bunch of things, and then I press W. Yeah, I can scroll up, but then if I issue another message, it scrolls back, because on a level of logging, a game log handler, right? So every time you insert a new log entry, we'll look, are you at the bottom of the scroll? So there is an auto scrolling here. Use Vim motions for the so up is key as far as I know, right? So we can so stupid way with it. Down, so we have to increment scroll by 1, but I'm not sure if we need the upper limit for the scroll. I don't think it's going to overflow because we have like all of these checks and balances for not overflowing. All right. So let's actually see. So this can be something like that. I'm pressing key right now, and J. I'm literally using V. Can I implement Vim inside of the console log? I could probably try to implement Vim inside of the console. This is so stupid. Yeah, I can scroll around, right? So it's just kind of. Oh, and it's kind of cool. If it's over scrolled, the automatic scrolling is not kicked in until you reach. It's so cool that it works like the right way emergently. It's kind of a cool emergent behavior out of the whole system, and it's actually a super simple system. Like, what the fuck? It's a feature, yeah. So yeah, I can scroll around, and because of that, all right. So I can still play game, right? So and then here, as you can see, so that's what's going on. By the way, we probably want to maybe move all of that stuff behind the flag of the console, right? So it's only processed when the console is enabled, right? So that's roughly what we want to do here. Smooth scrolling. Nah, fuck that. Why do we need smooth scrolling? Like, the console has to be practical, if you know what I mean, right? So it's just like, it's a place for me to look at the logs, just inspect what happened during the game, issue some commands, and that's about it, right? So it doesn't have to have this wow effect or anything, especially for the game that is trying to be kind of retro. It doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, first iteration can be very simple, right? So it can be very simplistic. Then maybe for social media engagement farming, I can add some animations and stuff like that, and then say, look, guys, I implemented that in 2026 without using Electron, CSS, and HTML. Can your Unity do that? Dab, 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 and everyone, oh, look, oh, and somebody in reply brings in AI, and engagement is growing. I can do that, but we can do that later, right? So what you just witnessed is basically my daily job, by the way, right? So if you ever wanted to be the influencer, that is going to be your job, right? Just that's what you're signing up for. So cheers, bye. I ran out of. I know I still have a little bit of water. Social engineering and natural, exactly. Eggs fucking ugly. Eggs fucking ugly. So there's a little bit of a kind of a weird scheiße, so there's a little bit of a padding in here, but there's no padding in here. Chat? Who wrote this shit? Oh wait, it was me. Fuck, I'm cooked. So, in terms of, yeah, so this is the padding in here, right? So, but I have to subtract the double of the padding from width. So that means I have to multiply that by 2, right? So that's one thing I have to do. Absolute budgeting. Who needs CSS? CSS. CSS. You can put CSS up your ass. So CSS up your ass. All right, so that's pretty cool. We need the input field. We need the input field where we're gonna be taka 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 command. Taka taka command. So that's gonna be rather interesting. So it's essentially, basically, doing another rectangle, right? So it's just doing another rectangle, but with a different stuff. In terms of width, it is going to be the same if you think about it. In terms of height, it is going to be just one thing in here. In terms of Y, it is going to be slightly different. Honestly, maybe I should just transform that into a single v4 call. Maybe that's one thing I have to do. So let me just put it like that. So this is first thing, and this is the second thing, and yeah, boy. So this is one call, and we're just placing it in here, so we're not polluting the scope. We're not polluting the scope. So that's the place, that's the rectangle that we're rendering in here. So it's kind of unreadable, but who reads the code in 2026? Am I right? Am I right? Nobody fucking reads that shit. Reading code is for nerds. Okay. So we need to distinguish the main window from the input. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you don't like my code in here? So you don't like the way I write my code? You think I made a mistake? You think this is a stupid code? Yeah. I think it's a stupid code. Here's the thing. This is the way I tell a story. Right. So it's actually very much intentional. It is actually super intentional because the height of the row is twice of the font height. Don't ask me why. I think there is a bug somewhere, but that's the height of the row. And what I'm saying is that I want to have two rows in here. I'm subtracting two row heights in here. So that's kind of the point. It's a narrative coding, exactly. So, and the thing is that the compiler is going to optimize that anyway, right? So there is a such thing as a constant folding. Right? And essentially, so it will try to execute as many things at compile time as possible. If you write something like that in a modern compiler, it is not going to perform two multiplications at runtime. It is going to perform them at compile time. It is going to fold all of these constants, and this is exactly what it is going to do in here. It is going to fold that anyway, so you're not paying like any runtime price for doing this kind of stuff, which gives you an opportunity to actually kind of intentionally do these kind of things, right? To tell you what exactly you meant, right? So it would be even better to maybe give this thing a name, literally row height or whatever. So font size twice. What's interesting is that first of all, it has to be, oh yeah, you can do twice, but I'm pretty sure the compiler will do that automatically for me anyway. I'm pretty sure about that. So if you got bold, if you got bold as shit, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna shift it. It's gonna shift it. Boom. Can you just have a simple thing? Oh, it's empty code. Okay, so if I do F, which accepts X, right? And I just copy paste this in here and I say X, can you just replace it with X and I just return this kind of thing? Boom. All right, so did it compile? Did it compile? And if I crank up optimization, it used multiplication, surprisingly. But this is GCC. Okay, so what about Clang? What about Clang? So ARM x86. Can you just give? Okay, so this is this one. No, they all use multiplication. It's the fifth line. Ah, I'm looking at the. Wait, no. Wait, what the fuck is square? Why did it scroll like that? Who? What the fuck is this website? I'm looking at it, it's just like, what the fuck is the multiplication? Okay. So it's doing something even. Oh, this is actually funny, yeah? Right, so because. Right, it's doing it like that. It's through Leah, so it's probably even more efficient. It's even more efficient like that. But anyway, so as you can see, compilers are smart. That's what I'm trying to say. Compilers are smarter than your average clanker. But anyway, so this is the thing. So I need to distinguish the field and some other things. So this is going to be green. And now let's fucking go. So XW, yeah, we probably don't need to do that anymore. Okay. Okay, so that is fair. That is fair. So that was kind of stupid on my part. So now it works, as you can see. Yeah. So we need to save the original position of y. So we can say maybe something like, I don't know, what's y? It's integer. Okay, so console y. So this is going to be this y, and we put this y somewhere here. Right, so that's what it is, console y. Then I can do what? In terms of y, this is a console y. But we have to add the size of the row, like so. I think that's what we have to do in here. All right, it didn't work, surprisingly, because we have to multiply it by the console capacity. So that's how many things we have to add in here. Not one, but the console capacity. And yeah, that works. So now I have a field. So yeah, so that's effectively where I'm gonna put all of that stuff. This is where I'm gonna put all of that stuff. But I'm very sure, like, I don't like that it is green. I can put it as a black and maybe put a little bit of a, like a distance between them. Maybe just a single font height. Maybe just a single font height is going to be enough. Can you please put the cursor always on top? I'll think about it. Okay, something like that, but I feel like it has to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think the field has to be a little bit smaller. So what about half of the height? Is it a private project? Yes, because I'm not interested in your pull requests and issues. You can leave them to yourself. All right. When I'm done working on this project, maybe I will actually upload it to GitHub, but I'm not 100% sure. What about maybe divided by 4? Right, let's divide it by 4. All right, that's a little bit better. What do you think? I think that's a little bit better. So poor guy just wants to submit a smooth scroll PR. Yeah, it's gonna be wipe coded slop. That is absolutely incomprehensible. Mr. Streamer, please review. Just 10k lines of incomprehensible slop, like absolutely. Mr. Streamer, please review. So yeah, we need to put the cursor in here. Some sort of a cursor, this thing. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and just try to do that. Maybe I'm gonna actually factor out this stuff into like immediate mode widgets. Immediate mode widgets. Can I just maybe factor out to font height into row height. I think I should do that. Row height. Row height, and then I'm going to replace that with the row height. So it's a little bit more readable. Hopefully, something like that. So this is a row height. We need to do another overlay. Fill rect. So fill rect. In terms of, okay, so this fuck off. Big. I'm sorry. So in terms of this one, it's basically that. It is basically that. So the color, by the way, is going to be white, I believe. So this is a white color. So this is an X. This is Y. It's literally the same. The only difference we're going to have is in its width. And the width is going to be like, I don't fucking know, 10 maybe. We can always define it as a fraction of the game display width, and that fraction could be 1/10, right? So we can divide it by 10 or something. It's always better to define things as fractions of magical numbers, right? So because if you change those magical numbers, everything is adapted automatically. So what should you do? Implicit declaration of overlay fill rect. Okay. Overlay fill, yeah, that's too much. That is in fact too much. So I think 10th is too big. What about like 1/20th of this stuff? What about 1/20th? Still too much. What about, I think 50 could be actually a feasible cursor. Even that is too much. What about 70? I think something like 70 should work fine. It should work fine. Yeah. Maybe even, what about 100? So let me also set the color to red so you can clearly see, because right now it's not really visible that well. We should make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think that's fine. Look at that. So that's a good size of the cursor. It's 1/100th of the width. Right, so it's 1/100th of the width and it's fine. Font width. We can use font width. That's a good point, actually. So here is the font, and where is the font? We query in the font asset. I don't remember. So font assets, and this one is interesting because the fonts, they not necessarily can be you know, mono width. So this one is mono width, but not all of them are. So because of that, no, I think it should not relate on should not be related to font size. It should be not. It should not. Chat, it should not. Can we just make it a little bit smaller? So essentially we can offset the whole X and Y just by some, but not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So we can, by the way, keep track of some sort of a thing in here. So buffer count. How much stuff we even have in this whole thing. So in effectively, what we can say is so plus buffer count multiplied by this width in here, right? So multiplied by this width in here. So maybe it makes sense to actually call it cursor width. All right, so this one is going to be cursor width, and we just put it in here. Cursor width, and yeah. So let's say if is key pressed, let's pick some sort of a key. I don't know, Z. I don't think I use Z anywhere. No, I use it for diffuse lighting. Fuck. I don't know, M. I don't think I use M anywhere. Yeah, so it's unused. So if this one is used, buffer count is yeah, let's increment it. So that means we need to also have some sort of a buffer capacity, right? So that's what it implies, I think. I think that's what it implies. Some sort of a buffer capacity. So M, oh shit. Well, yeah, so this has to be static, obviously. So it should retain its states between the frames. All right. So this is kind of like, yeah, so it's just like it's a cursor. I can't delete shit, but I mean, sure. If we had something like if is key pressed, I don't know, key backspace, we could have just did -1. But you have to be careful, chat, if this thing is greater than 0 only then, right? So you don't want to underflow. And we don't have a backspace. All right, so let's go ahead and edit. Let's go ahead and edit. Backspace. 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 So in X key, I'm not sure, like let's actually grab this entire shit. Do you have X key backspace? You do. Oh, and it's spelled horrendously. This is like, it's kind of funny. You've got camel case, snake case, and also all capitals in a single name somehow. Okay. Anyways, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah. So this one is gonna be backspace, and this one is a backspace. Backspace, backspace, backspace. All right, let's go. We need to do that for SDL. Oh, I forgot to increment the counter. Le counter. All right, so in terms of scan codes, I'm sure, let me see, include SDL, so it should be SDL scan code. Do you have backspace? Oh, literally, it's literally called backspace. Would you look at that? So backspace, and this is backspace. By the way, okay, so everything's fine, chat. Everything's fine. I'm going to just try to run the whole thing. Adding a key is a lot of work. You really think this is a lot of work following compilation errors? Really? And I already done. You really think that adding like a field to enumeration and just following compilation errors, and as soon as you're done following compilation errors, and that is a lot of work? Chat, I think this is a certified not gonna make it. Yeah. I think this person is not gonna make it. Like, it's a straight up certified self-report, not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm sorry to tell you, it's just like, yeah, it's like, if that's too much work for you, like, literally not gonna make it. Yeah. I'm sorry to tell you, that's my conclusion. That's my conclusion. Anyways, so let's continue. All right, so what do we have in here? ASCII compilation errors are hard mode. Depends on how you approach it, right? So if you lean to automatic type inference too much, you may have interesting situations where you modify one part of the code base and it breaks completely other part of the code base, right? So you have to be really careful. It's better to annotate types on the function signatures, but inside of the implementations of functions, usually it's better to rely on inference, right? And if you do that, usually compilation errors in Haskell are fine in the majority of the cases. Okay, backspace, by the way. Backspace. Backspace, backspace, backspace. Backspace, backspace. Backspace, backspace, backspace. Moving Baku space. All right. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We need to have some sort of a buffer. We need to have some sort of a buffer into which we are just appending stuff. So it's going to be rather interesting. It's going to be rather interesting. So the buffer counter is just this, but then we go ahead and allocate the actual buffer. It's obviously not going to support Unicode and UTF-8 and stuff like that, but do we actually care? I don't think we do. So this is going to be the capacity, all right? And by the way, so here is the increment. Let's say that the buffer count, right, if it is greater or equal to buffer capacity, which is array length of buffer, actually it has to be less than that. So this is just a buffer count, but on top of buffer count, we also need to have the current cursor, right? So because you can be pointing in the middle of the text. You can be pointing in the middle of the text. Okay, so here is the funny thing. We can maybe, every time I do increment, we can just do plus plus. Right, so we can do something like this, and we can put a random character in here. So can I do something like z minus a plus 1? That's how many characters we've got in here, right? So and this is going to be then plus. This is going to be something like plus. Okay. There's going to be something like that. And on top of that, after we have done that, we can try to go ahead and maybe render some text. Overlay field text without any shadows or anything like that. Okay. So we already have a font defined somewhere. So the message is going to be, it has to be null terminated though, right? So it has to be null terminated. Unfortunately, can we have just like a field text sized where I can specify buffer and buffer count? I should be able to do that. And the pen is going to be literally here, I suppose. Right, so that's what we want. So in terms of X, it is going to be here. All right, so that's your X. And in terms of Y, it is going to be console Y plus row, font height 4, and so on and so forth. It's kind of unreadable, but it's not like I want to read it anyway. So it's not like I want to read it anyway, so fuck all of that. So if I got a semicolon, spend 3 hours debugging, by the way, and the color is going to be color white. All right, so what do we have? Okay, so implicit declaration, so there's no such function. I literally just hallucinating it. Look, they're just like humans. Okay, so let me see. Text sized. So this is going to be message, and this is going to be message size. Right, so where is the field message? Okay. Field text. Here it is. In fact, I feel like, by the way, what we have to do is something like this. So this is going to be message size. Did I call it message size? Yeah, I call it message size. So this is going to be sized. So then later I can actually re-implement the version without the size by calling the sized version, like so. So I'm just forwarding the font, I'm just forwarding the message, but then I'm taking the length of this message and then forwarding the pen and forwarding the text color, and that is basically it. So let's go through the compilation errors, right? So okay, implicit declaration, really? Didn't I? That is Bizarre. How is that an implicit declaration? Are you out of your mind? Overlay, fill, text, size, D. Forgot the D, chat, I forgot the D. Alright, so, and this one is another D I forgot. I'm just keep forgetting the D's. D's not up. Oh. So, and message size. Alright, I think it's going to work. Well, I mean, we're using integers in here. Is that a good idea? Why are we using integers in here, by the way? Does anybody know? Why are we using integers? Okay, so can I just use size t? So we are using. Yeah, I think it doesn't have to be size t. So yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh shit! Oh fuck! What the fuck is going on? So defined but never used. Okay, but that is not true, isn't it? So and then overlay fill text size. How? What the fuck are you even saying? Like, it's complaining that it cannot find the reference and then later saying that nobody's using this function. Am I going fucking crazy? Without the D. Did I forget the D? Where is the D? Okay, you go into submod. Shut the fuck up, everyone. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Alright. So let me see. Aha, there's another D I forgot in here. Okay, so you can now talk. Right. So you are allowed to talk now. Okay, seems fine. Alright, what? Okay. I see how it is. Now, what we're gonna be doing? So we actually have to start not from the buffer count, but from the from just a row in here. So when we're rendering the text, we should not take that stuff into account. It's gonna be just like a row height. Almost coding, yeah, that is true. We almost did le coding. That is fascinating. Okay, so it is actually, so the cursor is not updated by that. It is updated by the font width, but actually it has to be updated by the text width. So that's kind of the point. And as far as I know, in overlay, text measure. I can actually measure text. Believe it or not. And I think it's gonna give me the width of the text. I can use that literally. So let's just call it here. So we'll measure. So, but it doesn't take the text as sized. Fuck. We need to introduce the sized version, right? So there should be a sized one where we also specify the size of the message text. So there should be two versions, right? So because depending, so yeah, measure the D. Funny joke. Anyways, so overlay.c. Okay, so this is sized and size t. Message size. In fact, we can put sized in here, right? So I should follow the same process that I did for the other function. Okay, so keyboard died. What the fuck? Okay, so size t, message size. So this is size t. Message size. Let's go. And we're just creating the version without the size, and we're simply calling this one. All right, so we're almost there, chat. We're just forwarding things. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. We're just forwarding things. So message size. Oh, this one just has to be strlen, like so. Okay, good. Ah, fuck, I didn't want to run it, like I wanted to fix the warning. Freaking... Yeah, I was in the middle of fixing warning, and since it was warning, not an actual error, it was kind of fine. Okay, so we'll get the thing that we can actually call. Right, so I'm gonna just measure this entire thing. So the, not this one, the sized one. Typical green arrow button, yeah. So this is the font. Message is just a buffer and buffer count, right? So buffer count. So how should I call that? Maybe message width, right? So it's going to message width, but it's going to be float, right? So, and everything is in integers now, which is maybe fine, but whatever. So I'm going to just add message width. So this is integer. So it was going to convert it to float, and then it's going to convert it back into integer because this is an integer vector, which I guess is fine. Right, so what do you have in here for the semicolon? Spent rounds fighting the missed semicolon. Exactly. That is absolutely epic, my friend. You know what's cool is that I can even, if is key pressed, key enter, or maybe, I don't know, is it, no, it's not going to be recognized. Key enter, not entry, enter, or maybe return. What we can do no belog, and just do something like info, and just like print that message somehow. But maybe it makes sense to do svfmt, and so string view message is going to be buffer, so, and then the counter is going to be buffer count, like so, and we just do svrg for that message, and then we're resetting the count to 0. You can't really type anything, right? So because it generates the characters randomly. So we can just scroll logs while typing. Exactly. So that's, we don't have an entry. So where is that person in the chat? Where is that person? Zed Show, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Yeah, followers off. I'm disabling the followers so everyone can actually type in the chat. Thank you for the raid. The legend himself raided me. So remember, I'm making a game, software rendered game, 3D software rendered game in C. So it doesn't use any OpenGL or anything like that. It's currently broken, I can't even compile it. But I can stash my changes super quick. And, oh yeah, just a second. It's I can't stash my changes. Like you joined at a very unfortunate moment where everything is broken. I can't even compile my game, but I think I can compile it just by commenting out this part. Right, super quick. Let me rebuild that with that. And if I try to run it one more time, yeah, it should work. Right, so this is how it looks like. It's prototype, it's not finished or anything like that. So this is 3D software rendered. So it doesn't have really high resolution, right? So it's very low resolution, but it renders at a pretty decent FPS. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm kind of proud of it. It even has a little bit of effects like fog and stuff like that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to implement the debug console. So basically like a Quake style where I can type commands and stuff like that. So I haven't finished yet, but in the middle of working on that. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. I don't really have particular ideas for this game. Just like very abstract ideas, but nothing particularly special. So that's what we're working on. Okay. So I need to introduce the enter key. Random seed leak. Yeah. Maybe I leaked some seeds. I don't think I did. So let me see how we're going to be introducing the new key in here. game.h. This is going to be the enter. I swear to God, if on all of these libraries, right, so we're currently working like with two libraries, X11 directly and SDL. I swear to God, if they're just like a, you know, /n, but we'll see. Since I'm trying to abstract away things, I have to translate the library key codes to my own key codes. So it's a little bit annoying sometimes. I like how you implemented rendering font. So the way I implemented rendering font is just like at the compilation step, I'm basically generating an atlas, right? And just information where the keys are located and stuff like that. And I'm just using it at runtime. If you're talking about specific like font that used for debugging, it's just that, right? So for the debugging, for the debug font for the console, I already have an atlas predefined. I think it's this one. Yeah, so here it is. It's actually a different one. I think, yeah, so that's the font I'm using right now. And it's under public domain, so as far as I know, it's this font. Yeah, as far as I know, it's this font. So, and this entire project, it has two steps. It has a meta compilation step, right? And then the main compilation. So there's a separate program that processes the assets and some meta programming stuff and generates additional code for the program. And then the main program that also includes additional stuff that is generated and then compiles it into final executable. So that way I can have like some meta programming capabilities. Not C++ level, not even Java level, but some kind of meta programming capabilities, which is great, I think, which is great. So I think I even generate some code. Well, I use it at least for generating like a Git hash, right, automatically. So that's pretty convenient for that. So Zig, I don't know if it reaches the Zig level. So in here, I can basically execute arbitrary code at build time. In Zig, I think there are some limitations, but I mean, Zig also has this build.zig file where you also can execute like arbitrary things. So every language has a metaprogramming if it can write files. Exactly. It's just like have two phases. For your compilation. Yeah, but code at build time is unsafe. Yeah, I don't know how people fall into this weird mental trap of thinking that arbitrary compile time execution is somehow unsafe. If there's something wrong with their mental model of how programming works, they probably maybe don't know that any build system can do arbitrary thing at build time. They don't know that in CMake I can just run external shell scripts and they can do things. It's just and it's not like a individual cases. People systematically somehow fall into this mental trap. So it's only safe if the language is called CMake. Yeah, exactly. It's only safe if the language is shitty. You know what I'm saying? Worst thing that could happen is hacking the dev machine. Normies are safe. I guess. So anyway. In Zig, I think you can only arbitrarily execute arbitrary code at compile time if the entire code and types are known at compile time. But I don't see much use case for the game I'm making, to be honest. Oh, the way Jai does that is actually rather interesting, but Jai doesn't exist, so there's no point in talking about it. But yeah. So the cool thing about Jai is that it feels like a compiled, statically typed language. But then it has a run directive, and inside of the run directive, you can execute arbitrary Jai code, like literally whatever, even calling to external C libraries. In that case, it will literally dynamically link with that libraries. The compiler will dynamically link with these libraries and call that code. And at some point within that run directive, you can even instruct compiler, okay, for that compilation session that I'm currently running in, do not generate output. And it magically turns your Jai program into a Jai script. So it's kind of interesting actually. So you're working with a statically typed compiled language, and during the compilation, it morphs into a scripting language all of a sudden. It's just like, what exactly happened? It's such a weird approach, because usually the way people do that, they do it the other way around. Usually they start with a scripting language, and then they try to compile it into something like, into some sort of executable. But Jai goes the other way around. It is the statically typed compiled language first that turns into scripting language. So it's very interesting. I don't think I saw such languages before. Metaprogramming in Jai, from what I've seen in your previous stream, is much more powerful and interesting. Yeah, it is. It is rather interesting. But I hope the language is going to be available to general public in like this year, right? So because they are releasing the game this year in 2026. So, and yeah, maybe they're going to ship the compiler with the game. Who knows? Hopefully. So because it's a really cool language, and I want a lot of people like try it. So it will also enable me to finally more often use it on the streams, because the code I do, I want it to be reproducible on people's machine. Well, I mean, I don't publish this specific code, but some of the things I do in here, you can try doing yourself on your own machine, just to confirm that they do in fact work. Can you just do this kind of thing? That is true, you can do, but it's kind of cumbersome, in my opinion. It's kind of cumbersome. Cumbersome. Anyways, so let's continue. So we need to go through all of these warnings and compilation errors and stuff like that. So there was a warning about this thing. Okay. So telling me that I haven't... Inversion error is not handled. I need to recompile the whole thing. Buy the game and get the compiler for free. Yeah, that would be an interesting monetization model, honestly. That would be an interesting... So that way, only people who are serious about the language will get the compiler. So as far as I know, the Jones approach to just like giving an access to the compiler is just like, he doesn't want to receive too many low quality reports, right? So that's the whole point. Not to gatekeep the compiler, though it is kind of gatekeeping, but the goal is to just like keep the quality of the reports high. Right, so, and unfortunately gatekeeping is the best thing we came up with to keep the discussions a high quality. The gatekeeping is also good. Yeah, I guess it is. Depends on what is called, like, what do we mean by gatekeeping? Because you can do gatekeeping different ways. So, but John mentioned you in an interview. He said after your stream about Jai, there was a lot of enthusiasts that came to ask to get access to Jai. I'm so sorry. Maybe I promoted that language too hard. Like, I didn't mean to. I genuinely thought some of the things in that language are good, and maybe I accidentally overhyped it too much. So my apologies to John. I really didn't mean to. But anyways, let's actually go here, and I'm gonna just do grep, and maybe I need to do enter. So let's go for this one. Not entry. Why do I keep typing entry? Enter. Is it return? It is return. Maybe I should have called it return. Yeah, coverage return. And it's not just \n, which is good, I think. I think it is good. So let's put it like that, and this one is enter, and this one, here's my, so this is 13. With access to Jai, I did not like it, too much weirdness. Well, understandable. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use it. Alright, let's take a look at that, and SDL codes. Include. So let me see, SDL scan code, enter, right? So do we have enter? Probably also return. Yeah. Return 2? Return was so good they actually implemented return too. Damn. All right. But I suppose we need only the first one. Maybe it's a numpad return. Yeah, that's true. It could be a numpad return. Okay. Numpad return. So let me just do that. Maybe I should have called it return as well. So this is return and this one is enter. Return back to school. No. Fuck schools. Alright, so I forgot to update this thing. Okay, so now I should be able to I can also scroll around if I want to. Just can scroll up. Absolute budgeting, that is true. But I actually cheated. I'm sorry, chat. I actually cheated. So you're not really entering any. But I mean, this because it requires like a properly just shielding things. Due to cheat. I know. The thing is, I need to go through all of the code above that. And just find where I handle is pressed and stuff like that, and just like check if I'm in a console mode, just don't do that or whatever. So I need to, I need to introduce the mechanism of focus. You know what I'm saying? Some sort of a mechanism of focus. So essentially when I'm playing the game and I enter into the console mode, I'm moving with WASD, right? So I'm moving with WASD. But when I'm in a console mode, I want these WASD keys to go into the console. So there should be some sort of a focus mechanism. But on top of that, should I be able to also maybe use the cursor in here? I suppose if you are in a console mode, the only thing you have to do is just render the game and not process any input. But the input processing currently is in immediate mode. So it is very much localized. So it's kind of difficult to sort of like consume the inputs, if you know what I mean. It's kind of difficult. So I'll need to think how exactly I'm going to approach that. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. I'm already streaming for almost 2 hours. Damn, time flies by when you're doing something meaningful and interesting, and not just like, you know, language review slop. It's amazing. Maybe you should do this kind of stuff more often. Just work on a project that I kind of like. A one story point, yeah. I don't want to finish it at this point, right? So I want to have something meaningful, like an actual console where I could input the command and then have some sort of like a if else, if the command is equal to that, do that, and so on and so forth. I want to get to that point, and then I can call maybe the stream finished. Was a lean stream reference? Well, I mean, lean stream is not the only language review slop that I've done in the past, so The most annoying thing is that they do so well in terms of numbers. I hate it. The masses yearn for slop. If you ever wondered why there's so much slop in the world, it's because the normies want it. They legit want slop. Like, I don't know what to do. It's just like you try to give them like actually high quality shit. They say, no, give us slop, we want slop. I was just like, okay, so here's slop. So I don't know. We craved it, yeah. Slop maximum. Anyway, so I already streamed for 2 hours. I would like to make a small break. And make a cup of tea. And after the break, we're gonna try to do something about suppressing the input, about the focus and stuff like that. So we are back. Okay, so let's go ahead and maybe look through every place where we do is key pressed, right? So let's try to do that. And there's a lot of places in here. So for example, this is a key escape. One thing we can do, maybe I should turn console into its own like a screen. So I have a thing called game screen, right? So there is a menu, main, editor, pause, playground, and so on and so forth. And it's basically like a state machine, right? So basically like a state machine, and depending on the different conditions, like you switch between this screen. Maybe console have to be its own thing, but I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure if this is a good idea. So console enabled. And another interesting thing is that we don't really have a mechanism for just checking what key was pressed. We can check the key if we know the key. We can only check the state of the key on the current frame. But we can't just get the list of all of the keys that were pressed as of right now. Or do we? This is actually an interesting question, I just realized. So internally, how is key pressed is implemented? So we have a game control variable. It's a global variable. I use a lot of global variables throughout the game. It's fine. It's my game. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, and we have the keyboard arrays. So we can take a look at the entire implementation of the game control. Right. So there's the structure controls and controls. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So there's a lot of things in here. And essentially you have an array of keyboard previous and keyboard current. So the state of the keyboard on the previous frame and the state of the keyboard on the current frame. So that's what we're doing essentially in here. And the funny thing is that we have an access to this array. If I want to know what keys were pressed, but I don't know what keys I want to check, I might as well just iterate this array. I might as well just do that. Furthermore, all of the keys are essentially enumeration, right? So I have this kind of enumeration in here. And in fact, it also includes stuff in ASCII, right? So the array itself contains the ASCII stuff. So essentially, what I can do, I can effectively just iterate everything starting from 0 up until the ASCII. And then just check whether that thing was pressed or not. I can do something like that. Who said I can't? I can. Nothing can stop me. Can you stop me? You can't stop me. Like I can just do things. So I'm sorry. Console. Right. So this is enabled. Okay. So the way we're gonna be doing that is so the backspace. Okay. I'm just iterating, starting from 0, which is, well, I mean, yeah, we're going to include a lot of stupid things which should not be included into the ASCII range, but I'm doing that anyway. Right, so essentially while this thing is less than key ASCII end, and might as well actually call it key, right? So this is the key and this is the key. And then if is key pressed key, and for instance it is printable, I might as well append that. Emacs was a little bit weird when I was actually dragging this thing around. I can actually append that to this thing. Who said I can't do that? I can literally do that. I can do things. Again, you can't stop me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can do things. All right. And yeah, so it doesn't, yeah, so there's a little bit of but again, we still need to somehow like focus on the console, right? Yeah, so there is also scrolling and stuff like that. So one thing I probably may want to do is to disable scrolling. But to be fair, yeah, so scrolling, yeah, let's actually not do scrolling. We can enable scrolling at some point, but not right now. So if not in console, yeah, so this is one thing we can do. So we already have this sort of flag, right? So we already have this sort of flag. And is key pressed? Like in how many places we do? Is key pressed? So game menu, is key pressed, space. Yeah. We can literally do this kind of thing. So this is basically jump. For example, console not enabled and that. But that makes all of these checks too huge in my opinion. Right, they're becoming kind of too huge. So I'll have to think how to make them syntactically, maybe semantically, like smaller, maybe create another function. Is key pressed when not in console or something? Yeah, so I'll have to think about that. So maybe implement focus inside the key pressed function, maybe. Maybe, like, how would you implement the mechanism of focus right now? Can we? So is key pressed? So imagine, okay, you have something like static boolean key focus, and it's gonna be just literally boolean. Flaccid, false. Is key pressed, is key down, is key up. So should we actually, yeah, I think we should actually ignore this kind of stuff. If the key is not in focus, if this thing is not in focus, return false. And also false in here, and also false in here. Might as well put asserts in here. So this is kind of like the idea of the focus mechanism I'm thinking about. And then you have all these functions like key focus start. And I'm not even sure if they have to be functions. I might as well directly just modify this global variable. So you start the focus, it sets it to true. Might as well begin, all right? And then you end this entire thing, and it's going to be key focus false. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So essentially, you define blocks, right? You define blocks. Okay, starting from that block until that block, the key is in focus. So everything that happens down there in the call stack is handled. Right, so, but if you don't enable that, it's just like not gonna happen. Is that a good idea? So basically, allow the user to define regions where the keys, like is key pressed, is key down, and is key up, return something meaningful. Right. Simple, stupid, but it maybe, well, we haven't tried that yet, so this is just like a random idea that I pulled out of my head. But I'm not really sure about the all of these functions. I think these functions are not particularly useful. Semantic of the keys based on the state. Maybe. Anyways, so essentially, if right now I'm trying to run this thing, I won't be able to do anything. So, oh shit, I mean, I am able to do something, but I can just like tap anything and nothing works because we never set that key focus anywhere. Right? Okay. So what we can do now is in game update. In game update, we have the following thing. So yeah, essentially, we probably should set the key focus to true, like to false in here. We clean up the game focus. Okay, so here is one thing. So F5, it's reloading of the things. I think we should start the focus somewhere around here. So basically reloading the things, then text message, and so on and so forth. Then the main game inside of main, menu, pause, editor, and so on and so forth. All of that is sort of like considered. So essentially, might as well even do something like game flags game flag console enabled. If it is not enabled, we set in the key focus in here. Right, we set in the key focus in here. And now game flag console, right, if it is enabled, it's going to disable it up until this point, and we're going to enable it yet again. This is a very interesting idea, actually. So I can move around, then I enable the console, and now I press F. Man, this is such a cool mechanism. Wait a second. It's so simple, but it works with immediate mode, except I can't actually disable the console anymore, because it also disables the flags and everything. So yeah, one way we have to work about that, I suppose, is that after we enable the focus in here, if, I don't know, is key pressed for this specific flag, as far as I know, it's a key, we have to disable this thing. So we have to put false in here. Yeah, so that's one way to do that. So essentially we're focusing all of the key events into like a very specific place. And yeah, that was bad actually. I can't even enable it anymore. All right, flashy, because like it immediately goes there. So it was pressed. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of annoying. So we can do commands, right? So, but it's kind of stupid. I want to be able to not do it like that. Okay, so one way we can maybe approach that. So here is the flags, right? So here is the flags. So, and we are focusing on the flags, right? So we saying, all right, so as you handle the flags, key is in focus. Then the focus depends whether we are in console mode or not. Right, so that's one way to do that, I suppose. And it's not gonna solve the problem per se, right? But oh, it did solve the problem. Yeah, so but it has this problem that flags are enabled like this. Yeah, it basically has this kind of problem. Maybe that's fine, because maybe I'm gonna be enabling or disabling flags through this entire stuff. At least WASD, you know, doesn't get into the game. Okay, so this key focus mechanism is useful. It is useful. We just have to think how to like organize it a little bit better, right? So I think I'll have to refactor the whole mechanism of flags to work a little bit better with the key focus in here. All right, so that's kind of a funny mechanism and it kind of works, so that's great. I really like that. Now, when I press enter, right, so where's the key? Enter. So this is basically what we have in here. Now we have different commands, right? How can we even do that? If, let's say, message svaq, right, so an sv from sister, and it's equal to quit, right? So we're pressing quit. I suppose we can just do exit 0 at this point. Otherwise, what we can do, we can say something like error, unknown command, and this is the quote, right? So this is the quote like that. Unknown command that. Let's give it a try. Is it going to do things? Key release, key press, maybe that will work. So unknown command that. So all of that is unknown commands. Quit, exits the game. So that's pretty cool. And excuse me, what kind of commands do we want, chat? What kind of commands do we want? We can, yeah, so we can have fog command, right? So which enables or disables the fog. else if, and this is where we can assign maybe names for each individual flags. So this is gonna be game flags, game console, game flag, not console but fog, right? And let's simply toggle it, meaning that let's assign not that flag. So it's going to toggle that specific thing. All right, so in here, like you press F. That kind of worked, right? So I pressed F to type fog, and that also toggled the fog, right? But we do have command for fog, and we do have command for quit. So that's very convenient. That's very convenient. So I'm already streaming for 2.5 of an hour, right? So maybe I should continue up until 3 hours, right? Because I basically achieved what I wanted to achieve for the day. Like we have a console, right? So we have some sort of a console, and we can type into it. We have like this dispatch for different commands, and spawn panger at the current location. Okay, so let's just do that. So let's add some commands. So since we have this mechanism, we can even now have an array of commands. Right, so it's going to be, each command is going to be a structure, right? So with a name and a function that is called every time you call that command. So you can have this kind of table. So how do you spawn a panger? As far as I know, we have an editor. Yeah, so here it is. So this is the editor. And inside of the editor, you can have entities, right? So you can create entities. And an entity, yeah, a single entity, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. I suppose the way you do that, you append into the entities sort of like this thing, right? So this sort of structure. So let's actually spawn the item entity. The position of this thing is going to be, do we have a player? Player, yeah, we do have a player position. So let's actually say player position. Scale is going to be 111, right? Nothing particularly special. And the model that we're going to be using, I suppose, is asset query model. And let's query panger, right? So the color doesn't really matter, but we can set it to red, or we can actually omit that altogether. So at our current position, it is going to spawn an entity item with the model panger. So that's kind of like how we're going to be doing all of that stuff. It didn't compile properly. So, because, yeah, so this thing accepts the string. It will query that thing for us automatically when it renders or whatever. Yeah, I think we don't have to worry about it. So just specify the name, and in here I can do panger, and it spawned the thing. So isn't that cool? Yeah. So that's so funny. Yeah, it spawned the thing, and it's a night. That's kind of funny. Yeah. As we'll get, you can spawn pangers. Yeah, you can spawn pangers. I wonder, would be kind of cool to have lambdas, so I can have like a global table of these commands and define the logic of the commands within that table. But since we don't have lambdas, I'll have to have separate functions that define the logic of each individual command. So yeah. So I guess that's it, right? So I did everything I wanted to do today. So it's rough around the edges, right? But it's good enough. It is good enough. It's the era of vibe coding. Nobody gives a shit about perfect software. So it's good enough. So I guess that's it for today, everyone. So thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you all on the next recreation programming session with who I missed. I love you.